Does the Roswell crash landing hold the key to modern welding technology? Well, today we're going to uncover the truth and learn how to master the gas lens. The government released the gimbal footage in 2015. Do you notice anything familiar with the shape of this UAP? Shortly after the release of this footage is when I first heard about the conspiracy connecting Big TIG to the Roswell crash landing. Let's travel back in time to the summer of 1947. World War II had just ended, and Americans were trying to get back to some sort of normalcy when out of nowhere, in the deserts of Roswell, something crash landed in the middle of a ranch. Locals didn't know what to think, and government officials started their cover-up. Amidst this wreckage, military personnel recovered shards of an unknown material that resembled broken glass. These shards, later named Celestial Unidentified Phenomenon, or CUPS for short, displayed incredible properties previously unseen. Despite efforts to conceal the truth, rumors began to swirl about the recovered technology. Unbeknownst to the public, scientists seized upon this rare opportunity, dissecting and probing, analyzing all the Roswell debris, and their findings were incredible. This material had extraordinary heat resistance and durability, unmatched at the time by any substance. But at that time, TIG welders were limited to using standard cups, which were fine for mild steel but provided inadequate gas coverage for otherworldly metals such as titanium, stainless, or zirconium. Welds were vulnerable to contamination from atmospheric elements such as oxygen or nitrogen and other things. I don't know, I wasn't really good at science. This led to issues like porosity and oxidation, but that's where we're in luck. Mild steel isn't a reactive, otherworldly metal like titanium, so you don't need to use a ton of gas on it. The gas is used basically to protect our tungsten and to stabilize our puddle while we're welding. So what cup should you use? It's a complicated question, and the answer depends on several factors: your material type, the expense, and your personal preference. If you're welding mild steel, you can use anything from a standard cup to this behemoth. This guy will get you those nice silver or gold welds, but you're gonna be spending a pretty penny on the cup and especially on the gas. Also, do you enjoy a cup this big, or can you use it as a handhold? Maybe if your company's paying for your gas and the cups, these would be the ultimate cups. But for me, a number 7 gas lens is my preferred all-around TIG cup. It's my favorite for aluminum and mild steel. Now, some psychopaths prefer to use a standard number 5 cup for aluminum. Nah, I'm kidding. A standard number 5 on aluminum is great. It leaves a small etch zone, it stabilizes the arc, and they're really cheap. A number 7 doesn't waste gas like a larger cup, and the steady flow of argon that the diffuser makes seems to really stabilize my arc on aluminum. You can weld with a larger cup on aluminum, but past a number 7 seems to be harder to control that arc. The etch zone becomes so wide that it makes your arc wander all over the place. Gas lenses seem to be modern day alchemy. I mean, they turn our gray welds into gold, and Big Gas likes to show us these juicy Instagram pictures of gold welds on mild steel, but that's just to get us to use more gas. But it wasn't always like that. Back in the years before Roswell, most materials that weren't stick welded were gas welded with no shielding gas. After Roswell, the government scientists began testing the materials collected for different applications, but it didn't always go as planned. So they began a collaboration between government agencies and corporations like Raytheon, Lear, Edge Welding Supply, and created Pyrex, and later the Quartz Cup. Using the technology recovered from the Roswell crash, they revolutionized the TIG welding industry, offering clear cups that could withstand extreme temperatures and rapid shifts without shattering. This not only offered welders the ability to see into corners, but to capture better arc shots. The introduction of specialized TIG gas lens with integrated diffusers changed the game. These cups dramatically improved gas coverage, making a consistent and protective shield around the weld zone. As a result, welders could achieve cleaner, higher quality welds that just look badass. Now, there are some negatives to using a gas lens, especially on aluminum. Every time that you dip your tungsten, particles fly up from your weld into the cup, and these particles get stuck to your cup and especially to your diffuser. When heated up, they can outgas, causing contamination in your weld. If you're ever welding and it seems like your weld's dirty, even with good gas flow and a fresh tungsten, the likely culprit is a dirty cup or a diffuser. If you suspect it's a diffuser, you can actually remove the top screen. Just remember, each screen that you remove reduces the ability of your gas lens. After doing it once or twice, I suggest just throwing in a new gas lens. The transition from standard cups to gas lenses represented a significant leap forward in welding technology. Some would say too significant. TIG cups are there to protect your parts, your weld, and your tungsten. They're one of the most important pieces for making a solid weld, especially for otherworldly metals such as stainless and titanium. These metals are susceptible to our earthly gases like oxygen and nitrogen being sucked into the weld while the metal's being heated. This can lead to the metal being brittle. Even the oxidation on the outside of the weld can cause these metals to rust. This is why it's important to shield the weld with argon, and why these types of metals need a large gas lens, a trailing shield, or even a welding habitat for some. Yet the origins of this revolutionary technology remains shrouded in secrecy, buried beneath layers of official denial, classified documents. Researchers like me were labeled conspiracy theorists. To this day, skeptics still scoff at the notion of a connection between Roswell and the Pyrex cup, dismissing it as mere conspiracy theory. But for those of us who dare to look deeper, the truth may lie in the very cups on our torches. But the standard numbered gas lenses aren't all that were made from the wreckage. Some of the most impressive things to come out of Area 51 and S4 were specialty cups. Sometimes I like a long number 5 gas lens to hit some hard to reach spots when I'm TIGging on boats, but they also make special shaped cups to fit into other specific locations. So how do I set up my cup? It's like my mama always said, you lick it before you stick it. Since scientists couldn't fully recreate the awesomeness of the Roswell crash debris, we have a rule of thumb. Your tungsten doesn't extend further than the width of your cup, and your cup sizes are in 1/16 of an inch. So at number 7, 7/16, number 8 is half an inch, and your CFH is 2 times the size of your cup, or liter per minute equals the size of the cup. So number 7 cup, 14 CFH, or 7 liters per minute. Each cup has its pros and cons, and it's up to you and your material to figure out what size and type of cup you need. Technology keeps improving with each and every recovered cup. But who runs these shadowy corporations and government agencies? Well, the only way that you can find out is by watching this video, and join me as we dive even deeper down the rabbit hole.